Hey, yo, this is Key's Comedy.
Oh, shit. Do one more time.
That's what we applaud.
Yo, this is Key's Comedy Club podcast. Be at work out, do something productive, and put earphones on and listen to the podcast. Have fun. Enjoy. I'm not here with Josh, motherfucking Infald, legendary comedian. How you been, boss?
I've been well. How have you been?
I'm blessed, bro. Happier than ever now that I see you.
Oh, what a guy.
I remember last time you headlined Key's Comedy Club. You oversold the room. There was like 20 people trying to get in.
Oh, well, you're the brains, huh? You know, you're the one doing the sales. I'm, you know.
I did overhype that one because you do like belly aching humor.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it. What a guy. Yeah.
I had these guys. My boy Darius from grade 6. He's like your number one fan, brother. I swear to God.
Yeah.
He's telling me, yo, have Josh and Phil back on. When are you having him back on?
Nice. So is he going to be here tonight?
He's going to be here tonight with his boys.
Oh, lovely.
You're going to be headlining today. You excited?
I'm very excited.
Yeah, I know.
This is my favorite venue. Sorry to interrupt. This is my favorite venue in Toronto.
Respects, brother. I appreciate it greatly. I know. I wanted to ask you. You do a lot of dark humor, right?
It's been described as such, yeah.
What's the darkest joke you could think of that you have?
It's hard to say because some people might consider one thing darker than another thing. You know, this comic.
What's the darkest joke you could ever think of?
I don't know. What would you say is my darkest joke? Because I know I've been described as dark and I've been on like dark themed shows, but I actually don't necessarily try to go for the darkest thing. I like if I can think of something that's like extremely dark, but it's like I don't find it that funny, then I won't do it. You know, so I always try to put funny first, and I guess my sense of humor happens to lie in like where like what's dark. Considered dark.
Necrophilia joke?
I guess you could say that is like dark, yeah, but see, like, when people would book me on dark themed shows, I used to kind of actually, not struggle, but I would think, okay, what do they want? Do they want jokes about death or like actual personal stuff? Because there are people who, some people wouldn't consider to be dark comics, who I think are actually, who I consider to be darker than I am, because when they're really talking about like their childhood trauma or something, I'm like, wow, that's actually like, it's like when they're making themselves vulnerable and stuff, and like they're talking about stuff that might be sad. To me, I think, no, that's kind of dark, right? But so, is dark offensive? Is it, you know, like, some people might say, well, if he does this like racial joke or he drops this buzzword, you know, that's dark. So it's really hard for me to say what I think my own darkest joke is.
Really? If you can name your favorite dark joke, then what would you say that is?
Of mine?
Yeah, if you could say it quickly. I know comics don't like when we say, can you do a joke for me?
No, I know. So
we're just trying to entertain people.
I guess my favorite. I like my So my dark. Actually, if you were to consider by the criteria that I just described, I would say my bit about my my death and how I overdosed and I was in. I guess that would be the darkest. But my favorite, just dark, like quick joke. Might be the Firehouse Subs, I think, where it's.
You could say it first quickly.
Yeah. So I'm trying to lose weight, so I had to cut out on the Firehouse Subs, which just sucks. I love Firehouse Subs. Like, to me, eating a Firehouse Sub is like going down on a beautiful lady. Only it's actually filling and it leaves a better aftertaste. And of course, I don't need 3 friends to hold down my sub before I eat it. So that's just like a joke that's not big. And then I have other jokes that may be like not like people wouldn't think are as dark, but
I've seen you do darker jokes than that.
yeah, I think that's just the one that came to mind. Yeah.
You went light today.
Yeah.
I like my favorite dark joke of yours, the one when you say the map of all the pedophiles.
Bruh, okay.
Can you say that one?
Sure. So
online.
yeah. So about pedophiles. They don't want to be called pedophiles anymore because apparently there's a negative stigma attached to that name. I don't know. They want to be called MAPS. Stands for minor attracted persons. Well, as somebody who's planning on having a kid one day, the only map I'm going to need is one with the addresses of the pedophiles. That way I can threaten to take my kid there if they misbehave. Oh, you know who else doesn't like to eat his broccoli? Stuart up the street here. Maybe you can have dinner at his place.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I remember my grandma, she would scare us as kids. She would say, if you guys are misbehaving, Abu Khasho will come, which means the boogeyman in Armenian.
Oh, okay.
And so we go, no, we'll behave. And then later when we grew up, our grandfather's name is Khachik. So then we found out Abu Khasho was our grandfather, short for Khachik, Khacho. So yeah, it's crazy.
Isn't it weird how if somebody tells you something as a kid, you might believe it to an unreasonably old age? Like, here's an example. When I was a kid, and this is fucked up actually, I had this babysitter who would, she once threatened me with her dog, like her Rottweiler. She said, all I have to do is say the magic word. And ever since then, I was like afraid of dogs, but I've gotten over it. But still, if it's a dog, I don't know, I might be. But so I was thinking, like, does every dog? I thought for some reason, because I was like 4 or 5, I thought every dog had this magic word that if you accidentally say it, it'll attack. So I was nervous to talk in front of dogs. Like, what if I say, "Oh, hey, can you get the door?" And then, and then at an age where I was like, wait, of course that's not true. Like, but if you had told me that at a slightly older age, I wouldn't have believed it. But because I believed it at that young age, I don't know. But eventually I was like, wait, no, obviously this dog doesn't have just this sound that it's gonna.
So are you afraid of dogs now?
I can be. I'm good at, like, I actually have a dog. I love my dog, and it depends.
What's your bitch's name?
Dana. And my dog's name is Dingo. And yeah, she actually got it was her dog first. She got it in Australia when she lived, so hence the name Dingo. And it's a golden retriever.
That's awesome.
No, I like dogs.
That's good misdirection.
Yeah.
As what I was telling people, if you have because there was a comic who was bombing on stage, and I was telling him how to write jokes.
I saw that video, I think.
He felt so bad. He's like, yo, can you hug me on stage? I want to feel good. And so I was telling him how to write jokes just so next time he could put some punchlines.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll see a comic that have a good premise. You'll be like, oh, that's a funny idea. And then it just doesn't deliver. And you're like, oh, there's got something there, right?
Yeah. You have any advice for the comics that are trying to write jokes out there? Just on how to write?
It's hard to tell give somebody advice without telling them how to be like me. Because then I feel like I'm saying like, oh, I know everything. Just be like, but just if you think something's, I don't know. Sometimes you'll have a thought. I find a lot of my best jokes are like Actually, Aaron Weingart, he used to do comedy. He put it like, he says to him, the best jokes are lightning in a bottle jokes.
Oh.
Like, it's just, when you're just thinking, or you're talking, and then you say it in the moment, you're like, yes, that's right there. And then he thinks in his mind, like, something that's overly written, like if they're like, okay, I have this idea. How do I, this word, nah, that doesn't work. He feels he can smell that from a mile away. I do have jokes that I have like crafted in that way that I find are good, but I kind of agree with him on that in a way. And
Spontaneity.
yeah, so I don't know what I would say. I feel like I'm better at if somebody tells me a joke, I could maybe say, okay, this would be a good tag, or like if you know, maybe I think, oh, maybe take it in this direction if you know, but I would have to think more on that one.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could teach people formulas of how to write jokes, but we can't teach people how to be funny.
Yeah.
You see?
Sometimes there's people who I just find funny, just like their presence.
Yeah.
And also, and then if you can add like jokes onto that, like you have a hilarious presence. She just met you for the first time, not Dana, our friend Holly over here. Shout out to Holly. And I could see she just wants to laugh, and it's not like I remember I was actually, you know, Guy Alima.
Never heard of him.
Okay, he used to do comedy. He stopped. I just started talking to him again recently, and I remember it used to bother him. People say, "Oh my God, you're so naturally funny." I don't know. I think maybe he thought people were laughing at him or something. But it's just, it just puts you in like a giddy mood just being around him. It's like, and I've heard also, you know, like other comics, they don't like it because I guess they think, oh, that means what? I don't have, like, I'm not working at it, but it's not that. It's like you put in work but just your presence is just a funny presence. It doesn't mean you're like funny looking in that like, oh, you're ugly or something. So I can see taking it the wrong way, but being self-conscious about it. And I guess if everywhere you go, it can be difficult. I used to have this when I was a kid. I'd try, like, if I get angry, and people would laugh because they would think, but I'm like, I'm actually angry, and like they're actually just like, oh, that's hilarious. Look at this guy's reaction, and that would be I could see that being frustrating, or like, you know,
when you're angry and. You know what's crazy in traffic when they're angry and I just don't look? And the whole time they're like, why does he fucking look? So now they're holding in their anger.
you just respond, oh, thank you. That middle finger for me? Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. But yeah, I was telling people like what you said. Character is another way to be funny. Yeah, because imagine you being the punchline.
Yeah.
Then you're naturally funny. That means.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything. You just stand there.
Yeah, just like you know who's a character? Abraham Swaleem.
I remember him.
Yeah, he's this tall African guy, and he had these like because he was from another country. I don't know. His pants were like I don't know, not just the way he dressed. Just he was so like positive and always in a good mood. He'd call everybody superstar, and you know. You tell he's buzzing and he'd chuckle and he'd go like, more jokes is coming, folks. And like I've seen people just not get it, and like I've seen him like bomb, but I've seen people just like it's great when he would start and people would be like they didn't know what to make of it, and then they kind of just like chuckle, and by the end they're just howling because he's just like this guy is such a character and you just want to love him.
I remember him. If anybody knows where Abraham Swaleem is, how is his name? Abraham Swaleem?
Yeah.
If anybody knows where this funny character is, message me. I ain't never seen this man in a while. He's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
And he deserves to be
And
known.
he could fucking eat. Holy shit. His metabolism must be so fast. Because I went to a buffet with him, with an actually guy who was a big guy, and he could eat. And, like, you know, I'm not a lightweight, right? And, oh, man. So he said, like, before he got there, he's like, he had, like, 5 apples and a loaf of bread. Like, first off, a loaf of bread, who eats it? And 5 apples? Whoever eats more than an apple. Like, okay, I've had 2, like, small apples, but, like, whatever. Just to, like, I guess, like, pre-game, I guess. I don't know. And then he fucking ate us under the table. We're like, they were just bringing, it was like Korean barbecue we got. They kept bringing so much. Oh, what the fuck? This guy's so skinny. It's insane.
That's hilarious. You guys take him to a mandarin, he starts off with apples.
Before he got there, man. 5 apples and a loaf of bread.
You know,
How'd you eat that?
you know, it's funny. Next time I go to a mandarin spot, I'm gonna fill it up with just apples, mangoes, and oranges. People are gonna be like, you sure you want to do that? I don't know what I'm gonna do next time because of what prank he did on you guys.
Okay.
That's hilarious. Oh yeah, that guy was a character. You know, when I opened up this comedy club, I was thinking, who the hell's the funniest? Everybody came to mind, and the first person who came to mind, you know, Anthony Engelbrick.
Yeah.
This guy, I know he could do hours on end.
Yeah, he's a funny guy for sure. Yeah.
I just booked him. I said, yo, come, let's go perform some stand-up.
Yeah.
And take this in. We had, I didn't know I was actually going to sell tickets, right? We had 1 ticket sold, but I'm like, fuck it, let's have some fun. I call Anthony Engelbrick, he's like, yo, you want to come perform some stand-up? He's like, yeah, I'll come through. He came up like 20 minutes later, right? I'm over here performing for one guy. This guy is having the time of his life. He's like, yo, you're good, you're funny as fuck, man. I'm like, yeah, let me keep going. he's like, you're funny as fuck, but is this a setup? Because you have to walk through the alleyway, and at the time I had no decorations at all.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine him walking up the alleyway, no decorations, comes here with just like 5 chairs.
It's like, yeah, am I going to die tonight? What is this? A comedy show or some sick, like I don't know, clown fucking murderer guy.
What are you going to say?
No, you know, like, that Seinfeld episode, I can't think. What's his name? You know what? You watch Seinfeld?
Yep, love it.
Joe Davola.
Okay.
Okay, anyway.
And then, so this is what happened. The guy throughout my whole set, he's scared as fuck. He said, listen, you're funny as fuck. I'm going to come back here one day. Hopefully when it pops off, I'll come back here. But right now, I think it's a setup. I'm leaving. And he ran out the fucking shit. And take this in. 2 minutes later, Anthony Engelbrick finally comes in. He opens up the door. He's like, brother, I thought you said there's a comedy show. I said, yeah, there was. Some guy was having so much fun. But he fucking got scared and ran off. And Anthony Engelbrick was like, listen, I'm gonna head out, man. But yo, I could see what you're doing, man. I appreciate the grind and keep doing it.
Yeah.
And he gave me a hug and he went out.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's the story about the first ever show.
That's a great story. That's a great story. It's funny, like the amazing stories that like you have as comics, and then eventually some of them like you'll think is normal, and you'll tell like I'll be telling like a family member about this, and be like, who are these people you know? Like, you know, they always say, you know, you have the weirdest friends. How do you know this? Why is this guy doing this thing? Why like I'll be like, oh man, that wasn't the point of the story. That was like I'm getting to the actual crazy part of the story, and then, you know, just like think about all the characters, you know, because a lot of comedians, it's like people who are weird in their life. They're like the weirdest person that they in their life, and then it's like you have like a room full of a bunch of like weirdos. Pretty crazy. And you're like, wow, I'm pretty normal, huh?
Yes, it's crazy. We do meet a lot of funny people.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man.
Round of applause for Deb Bozeman, everybody.
What happened with her?
Just another character I thought was crazy. No, she is a character. Because I was just thinking about weird gigs I've done. And, like, what's the weirdest gig you've ever done?
She does do some weird gigs. I remember she only had like 3 people in the crowd, and then she paid the headliner $500.
I've done some of those things where
I was like, what the fuck? You didn't even make any money today. Where's the profit?
She invited me so it was me and like, it would be me and one other comic or me and 2 other comics. And she's like, okay, and she's like, I'm gonna pay you this, and we get, you're like, wait, you're gonna pay us for that? Like, it's like she brings you to like her like mansion, and then she's like, oh, here's the audience, and it's just like in her backyard for like her like, she's like, oh, who's the, and they're like, this is the audience, and it's like, oh, how do you know? And she's like, oh, she barely like speaks English, like it's like her like Filipino like hairdresser and her friends, and then you go inside, there's this like butler guy just like cutting up food, and he's just like this guy, it's like this fucking like giant black guy just cutting up food in his suit. He has like gold teeth and shit, and you're just like
Cock just swinging.
and he's just a character, man. And it's just like, and you're like, how do you know Deb? And he's just like, and like, oh man, is that how you know? I don't want to know. Oh man.
God damn. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard some crazy stories, man. Some I can't even disclose because of how crazy they are.
Yeah. But yeah, she gets herself in these like scary positions. Like she'll climb down these like things, and she'll be hanging off somewhere, and you have to like you rescue her, or like she'll fall, and you're like, oh, she's like, hey, look, and she like didn't she get kicked out of what's that store? Bass Pro Shop?
She jumped off the waterfall in Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, Bass Pro Shop.
In the
Bass
fall.
Pro Shop, she jumped off the waterfall.
And swam in there until she was kicked out.
And with her, she's with that guy, that guy Patrick, who she goes around with, who reminds me, he always reminded me, not his personality, but just the way, at first, just the way he would look and carry himself. You know Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore? I'm just like, wait, who is this guy? He's like, oh, it's Patrick. Yeah, but who is he? It's Patrick. Oh, okay. But it's funny because this kid I went to school with, who I was friends with, he actually knows Deb through his dad or something, and it was weird because I went to a show and he was there, and I was like, Gary? Like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh. And I was like, yeah.
I'll tell you my craziest Deborah Bozeman story.
Okay.
Remember when I used to get millions of views per prank video, right?
Yeah.
I was always trying to think of what to do next. It came up in my idea to hire Deb Bozeman to play as my grandmother.
Okay. That's hilarious already.
And so the prank was she catches me with all these drugs and starts yelling at me, right?
Yeah.
I filmed it, I uploaded it, then you see all of the comments saying, yeah, I'm gonna believe a Middle Eastern has a Jewish grandmother.
You could have been adopted. Oh man. So I was gonna tell this story. This is a fuck story actually. She was hosting this show at her house, and it was like, okay, because backtrack. So there have been times where I used to do these shows at Second Cup at York University until I got it shut down by accident. But it was weird, and I would do other shows like that where I'll do other shows similar to that, like in these like coffee shops, or it'd be fully like old school open mics where anything goes. So you'd follow like this poet who's doing this like, there would be a poet or a guy doing this sad guitar song about like, oh, this is about my my younger brother who he just like got hit by a bus or whatever, a sad thing. And then it's like, you know, my older sister, she just passed away from cancer. And then they like everybody would be silent, like, and now a comedian, Josh Infald, right? So this kind of reminds me of, so Deb Bozeman, old Jewish lady, she's talking about how, I forget who, but one of her relatives, she's on stage, somebody mentions, like, I don't even know why she said it, maybe it was like, she was, you know, segueing off something, but then she didn't make a joke. She's saying how one of her, like, relatives was in the Holocaust, and she was talking about Dr. Mengelev, Joseph Mengelev, the famous doctor who'd perform these experiments on people, and she was going into like detail about these like awful like experiments with no anesthesia that you, and then she brings up the next comment. I was like, what the fuck? Oh man, that comic bombed so fucking hard. Holy fuck. Because how do you not, because you could tell she got sad. It's like she got this like sad, like she was like, I'm like,
oh, that's good.
Everybody there was just so uncomfortable, like so like,
oh, that's
like
good.
yeah, so it was crazy. Because she doesn't mean to be, she's 100% legit. Like her character is just who she is. So sometimes that like in the moment it was very uncomfortable, but like now like looking back, it's a hilarious story.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's a. So my grandfather died in the Holocaust. And next up, Josh and Fun.
Basically.
Get her to host Key.
That's awesome, man. I want to ask you, who's your favorite all-time comedian?
Well, I'm sitting next to him.
No, for real.
No, I'm sitting next to him, Alex DeWitt, right up there. No. So it used to always change, but it really is hard to say because there are certain comedians who've I think maybe not influenced my comedy, but influenced me into wanting to become a comic. Like discovering and Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was like, because he was so different from any other comedian I would see on TV, and it was just so, like, the way he would talk about these, like, dirty fucking things and just make these, like, silly nursery rhymes and how he was, like, he gave off this, like, rock star energy, sold out Madison Square Garden and shit, and
I fucks with that.
it was just, like, it was such a funny character, too. It's, he's like, because his name's Andrew Ginsberg. He's this Jewish guy who's made this fucking like this like greaser like Italian character, like just like hey. Oh. And I just and then there are certain comics who like I don't know because it really is hard to say.
Oh.
Doc. But
Your wife was
a lot of my favorite. So I believe it or not. So I don't
Mother
really.
Goose. I fucked her.
I don't really watch. That was a good impression. I don't watch much comedy that's not at the shows where I see. In fact, when I watch comedy now, I try to watch a comic who I think will be different from. From on Instagram, I see a lot of those reels pop up because those are popular now. People post, and I'll see, oh, okay, I like this guy, I'll follow, whatever. But like, one of the so when because I stopped doing comedy for a bunch of years, and and I started watching just funny channels. I was like, okay, I want to laugh, but I don't want to watch stand-up because I don't know. But then I saw this roast set at the, because I was like, okay, something recommended the roast of Patrice O'Neill or something, and this guy Ben Bailey, he destroyed, and I was like, holy shit, this guy's funny. I'm gonna check out one of his specials, and he with this raunchy shit, right? He destroyed him with, and then his special was 100% clean, and I was dying.
Oh,
he opens up with this joke about job applications and like messing. And I'm not gonna do it, but I'll tell you like what it's about. It's like about like messing up the job. Like you when you fill the wrong thing in the box, and like it'll say like name. And you put like your address or something, and I think so. Already, I don't have the job, and then they're just like, wait, you want me to? So wait, so your name is Ben Bailey, and you live on 347 Ben Bailey Boulevard. Or something like, I forget, like I'm butchering it, but so then I watched another special of his. And it wasn't 100% clean. He had some dirty, and I was like, holy shit, this guy is like, that is amazing. He actually was, and some of the comments were like, oh, I liked your cleaner stuff better, and I was like, but I just thought it was amazing how he had such range, and I wouldn't say he's one of my favorite, but I was very impressed with what he could, and I thoroughly enjoyed that special, and I liked that it was clean, and I like watching things that I don't think I'll subconsciously be influenced by, because
you want to be original.
Yeah, and also I used to have this fear of watching other comedians because I didn't want to accidentally hear the same premise as I did and then get in my head about it. So that now I'm better with it. If somebody has the same premise and I know them, I can message and say, hey, I have this joke, and it's just so you know, and whatever. But actually, I tried to warn a comedian about that recently, about somebody else, and this whole thing blew of it. He took it the wrong way, blocked me. Then I made this silly video saying, and I'm like, I'll beat you up. It was supposed to be funny, but he took it seriously. Ended up calling the cops that came to our house at they can't come to our house at in the morning. Anyway, it's all set.
What happened? Well, that's crazy. Cops came over a joke.
Well, it was over a threat, but I made it as a joke. But he interpreted it as a threat.
Oh, I thought y'all called the cops over a joke theft.
No.
Imagine the cop being over there.
No.
Who wrote this first?
They called the cops at 3 in the morning and woke me up.
Yeah. And I had to work, but so I remember vaguely, I had to get up at 5:45. But I remember vaguely waking up and then just there was noise going on and I just fell back asleep. And I wear hearing aids, but I don't sleep with them, so I was able to sleep through the commotion. But unfortunately, my wife got away, and we live in the basement of her parents' place until I get super rich, so we're living there forever.
That's smart. I fuck with that.
Anyway, so they woke them up, and there's this whole thing, and then, he told people on this Facebook group, because I'm not on Facebook, he was saying, Josh is telling lies. He's saying that I called the cops, but not knowing that Dana was in that group. So she showed screenshots then how come when I said, how come you called the cops? You said, because this, blah, blah, blah. So then took back anyway. We're all cool. I understand things get.
I'll tell you who my favorite all-time comedian is. Have you heard of the late, great Cat Williams?
Oh.
Late? I didn't know he passed.
I'm just playing around. But yo, did you see his recent interview? This guy exposed everybody. Got 60
I saw
million
clips.
views.
I heard about it. About like some like it's like very like insider like Illuminati type stuff or something, right?
Yeah.
He's talking about.
He exposed P. Diddy before anyone else did.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
He literally exposed P. Diddy. He's like, P. Diddy be having all these weird Hollywood parties. This was in 2008, his first special.
Whoa. And you know what sucks? When you're one of these guys and everybody's like, oh, this guy's crazy. He's the only one saying. And then it comes out, and I was like, what? Oh, I'm sorry. But like, no, but now you're like, you're making me feel crazy for all these years, and then now it's like. But
and then he goes, P. Diddy be saying some gay shit and he don't even know it's gay. P. Diddy will get excited and he'll say, oh, fuck my man pussy. What? Wait, what?
that's a great Cat Williams. That sounds like Cat Williams.
What the fuck P. Diddy hanging out with Justin Bieber for at age 14? Boy. Justin Bieber is a boy, Damien.
Well, like I've already said, no matter what you think about Puff Daddy, P, whatever his name is, Diddy, I still think he's the best raper. I mean the best rappers. Best rapist out there. Oh, thought he'd like that.
Fuck P. Diddy. All I'm saying, Cat Williams knows best. You gotta stay away from these Illuminati members.
Here's something. That's a weird way to just like change it. Here's something. That's what I'm gonna start doing to people. I don't like no, but it's on the same topic of Diddy. Of Cat Williams. So a lot of these people, like I was saying, they'll say, oh, they're crazy, right? Well, maybe it sucks if you actually are a little bit, like, you know, not all there, if you're unhinged, but you actually do know some truths about something, because then they'll be like, well, he's crazy on this, but maybe the reason, because Cat Williams, didn't he go a bit off his rocker for a bit? Like I know he got in a fight with a kid, maybe it's because of all this stuff he knows that he's not allowed to say. And if he says, you know, so maybe like the weight of that can make you go a bit insane, right?
So that a lot of people have theories that if you expose a lot of insider stuff, I mean, he's been around for 60 years, so he definitely seen a lot of stuff.
For his age, fuck.
So if you've been around that long and you're exposing stuff, now they're gonna either go after your character,
yeah,
or they'll kill you.
Yeah.
If they can't kill you, because mass public will go crazy if they kill you.
Yeah.
They're gonna try and assassinate your character.
Yeah.
So they're gonna say he's on drugs. They're gonna say he's doing this and that.
It's like people were saying that like Kanye West is a clone or something. This one that's been saying all this crazy stuff and doing this. I don't know about that, but you know, I mean, it's just like I can see where they're coming from with it. Like, or people have said a long time ago that. They're like, look at Eminem. It's not the same guy. Look. Like I don't know. I'm not good at that. Like I'm the type of person if somebody puts out a fake prank or whatever, I'm always the one who believes it until I read the comments and they're like, oh, this is, and then I see. So I'm not good with that stuff. But some people have a very like good eye for certain things, you know.
Yeah, they have a good idea. Like Middle Eastern can't have a white woman as a grandmother.
You're adopted.
After that, I deleted that dead Boachman prank.
Or you could have. It's possible though. You could have had a. I don't know. If she had a kid with like a brown kid, right, or something. Hey, So, you're Armenian, correct?
Yeah.
Correct. Where? I'm not good in geography. Where is Armenia?
Armenia is connected to Iran, Russia, and Turkey.
So, it's like Eurasian, like it's like partly in Asia, a bit,
It's in the border of Europe and Middle East. So
Middle East,
people,
or Middle
so sometimes I don't know whether to be nice or bomb someone.
No, because I had this thing where I realized how bad I am with like worldly things, like I just showed right there. But this guy, I was working when I was working at Canadian Tire.
Yeah.
This guy's like, "Have you seen?" I forget the guy. I'll say John. And I was like, "John," and he's like, "You know the where was the place? It was like, I don't know, Croatian guy or whatever." And I was thinking, that doesn't narrow it down for me at all. Like, what the hell does a Croatian? What might he look like? What might he sound? He's like, he has the Croatian accent. I'm like, I have no idea what a Croatian accent sounds like. But I didn't want to, so I just said no. I haven't seen him, but
That's awesome. Yeah, I have my best friend is Croatian, and he's sick with it at like telling you what team is gonna win. This guy
he gambles.
He doesn't even gamble though. He's like no gambling.
Oh, it's like
this guy before the season even started. You remember when Toronto won the season?
Yeah.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
And then the whole parade happened, this and that. Before the season even started, this guy told me, my Croatian fan, he told me, "Yo, Raptors just got Kawhi." I said, "So what?" He's like, "Yo, that's a sick ass player." I said, "So what?" He said, "Toronto has the chance of winning." This is before the season even started.
Wow.
He's telling me this.
Wow.
This is the type of person he is. He looks at everybody's stats and then he tells you who's gonna win, who's not that day when they're playing. And he doesn't even do bets. If he does bets, he'll win like crazy.
So let me ask: is he autistic? And I'm asking for a reason. Because my mom has this friend with this daughter. She's now maybe 20 or something. Very far on the autism spectrum.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, let me do a research on what that word means first. Hey Siri, what is autistic mean? Relating to or affected by autism. Okay, now I have to search another word that means. Hey Siri, what is the definition of autism?
Autism means a developmental disorder of variable severity that is characterized by difficulty in social interaction and communication, and by restricted or repetitive patterns of thought and behavior.
I still don't know what it means.
so it's like depending on how if there's a spectrum. Some people like basically my mom's friend's daughter. She's an adult, but she has like basically a very like mind of like, but it's not like it's not the same as Down syndrome, but she's so far on. You can't really. She has trouble communicating, and she'll like say like, "Oh, do you like Minions?" And it's cute, right? It's fun, but like she'll never be able to like have a job or anything. But, like a lot of people with autism can't. Some people it's just like certain social cues they don't pick up on. But she can barely like speak. But she likes me a lot for some reason. Maybe because she had diagnosed me with like not such a autism. But anyway.
No, he doesn't have autism if that's what it means.
No, so anyway, but she clearly has like 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 she's mentally challenged in like certain ways, but she has this thing where if you give her any day, like they'll say, "Hey, when's your birthday? What day were you born?"
February 9, 1990.
she could say Tuesday or something, whatever,
Oh,
and you'll look it
wow.
up, and it was Tuesday. Like, what the fuck?
Wow.
How do you do? But then she can't do other like basic simple things that like day to day. It is so. I want to know what that looks
You
like
know
in
what's
her mind.
crazy? You know what's crazy? Now that you say that, there's this crazy thing I did with the same guy I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Who predicts who's gonna win NBA games. There's this crazy thing that he does where I name any celebrity and he tells you the exact age they are. And then you go like this. You go like this. Watch this. Watch it. Hey Siri, how old is Hey Siri, how old is Oprah Winfrey?
Oprah Winfrey is 70 years old.
And then the exact number is what he said.
And he must know their birthdays too. So when they like turn the age or whatever, because that's the thing too. A lot of autistic people, they hyperfixate on certain things. So they're into one thing, like they might be into like cars, and they'll just know every car and But it's like, and then there's people who. I think the spectrum is too wide, because some people, they're just like, oh, he doesn't like to hold eye contact long enough. Oh, this person's autistic. Like, no, that's not the same thing as that. But because apparently Alex DeWitt thinks, well, no, he never took the final test, but they think he's very light on the spectrum. And like, he thinks he's barely on the spectrum, like. But they think he's like, very, like if he is, he would be, I think he's like, very, like if he is, he would be super, super, super high functioning. But I don't think he is. No, I think he's high functioning. I don't think he's autistic.
Yeah, joking, man. On that note, we gotta end the fucking podcast.
Before we do, check out the quads. Because I've been working on them.
Josh, the show's about to start. Let them know where they
Getting
can
thick
find
and
you, bud.
juicy. And that's good for me, because I got fucking like pencil, like I've always had chicken legs even when I was really fat. Check out the booty.
Josh, the show's about to start. Let them know where they can find you, boss.
You can find me. You can find me on the streets of South Central. Just chilling. Shooting dice. Fucking being a stud. No, anywhere. And you can just find me anywhere you find absolute legends and studs, basically. I'll be. That's basically it. No, Instagram, my name, Josh Infald. That's it, real.
Much love, boss. Thank you for coming on the podcast. Really had fun talking to you.
Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun.
God bless, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, this is Key's Comedy Club podcast. I want y'all to... Hey, yo, this is Key's Comedy Club.
I'm clapping. That's how I clap. That's how we applaud.
Super, super, super high functioning, but I don't think he is. Even... No, I think he's high functioning. I don't think he's autistic.
Yeah, joking, man. On that note, we gotta end the fucking podcast.
But before we do, check out the quads. Because